Well, speaking of the police department, four NYPD police officers say new affidavits that arrest quota system target Black and Latino New Yorkers. I'll let Rodney lead with this one. What do you think, Rod? Do you think it's a quota?
Surprise! Yeah, I mean the thing is, it's no secret. There's quotas in the police department. They don't openly say them, but there absolutely are quotas in the police department. There are arrest quotas, there's summons quotas, and then there's actually ramifications for people that don't meet those quotas. It's just a fact.
So what are some of Rod, real quick? Just like I'm interviewing right now. What's some of the ramifications for people that don't meet those quotas? What happens usually?
Well, usually you won't get any overtime. If you're like in a detail, which is like a special unit, then basically you usually when you're in a detail in your special unit, you got certain days off. So basically, it can threaten to kick you out of that unit if you're not performing up to par, and then you lose those days off. You know what I'm saying? So, or you could be bounced back to patrol, which is basically just riding around in a police car answering jobs. That's considered the low tier of the police department. So there's absolutely consequences for not meeting a quota. You know what I mean? I've seen situations where supervisors, a certain guy didn't meet a quota on overtime, and at the end of the night he didn't have the number, and he took him back out to get it. But the thing is, they're not going to believe that oh God.
Police department?
No. They're not going to believe that the activity is not there. You know what I'm saying? They don't take that like, listen, there's nobody out there for me to basically give a summons to. They don't take that as an answer. So then basically, which forces the cops to not have discretion, and they actually go out there and harass people because they need that number.
Let me ask you, this to me is a weird situation because, all right, it's like, don't you supposed to keep the crime down? Wouldn't that be looking as a good job?
Okay. See,
then, why are you trying to arrest people to make it look like it's a bad situation?
Correct.
But it's a good situation. Like, I don't get it. Like, they don't do that in Beverly Hills. Like, arrest people in Beverly Hills. No, you got Beverly Hills in a nice neighborhood. So you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of bugged out.
What happened is the biggest mistake that the police department ever did is it went corporate, right? So when I say it went corporate entities always base things on numbers, right? So now you're sending the cops out there with these quotas that they have to fulfill, which actually takes their discretion away. So now I'm forced to give you the summons. I'm forced to lock you up, where you could say, normally I wouldn't have locked this person up, or normally I wouldn't give them the summons, but I need this summons so I can stay out of trouble. So now the community, which is most likely the Hispanic and Black community, they become numbers to people. They're not people no more. They're just numbers. So they go out there and they grab these numbers, and this is what happens. And this is why we have these incidents as well, because the cops are pushing to get these numbers, and it creates this hostility with the community and the cops. Because the cops have no discretion when they need those numbers.
So my next question, Rod, do you think that Eric Adams will be able to help change that?
If like you know how I am, D. Like I know how politics are, and I know sometimes when people get into politics, they change, but he does have the power to change that. You know what I mean? Like they measure each officer based on an activity report that they used to do, but they got rid of it, and then they have like this evaluation system that they do, and it's all based on activity. And the thing is, some people are not treated the same. You have some people that they push, okay, I need this and this and this from you, but then you have some people that you say, oh, he didn't make his number this week, it's all right, he'll make it next week. So it's not an even playing field either.
So what are your thoughts if Curtis Slewa becomes mayor with the red beret, and then you saw that cocksucker Giuliani was behind him yesterday cheering him on? So
yeah, well, if Curtis Slewa becomes the mayor, then basically he'll change the police hat to a freaking a beret. That's what he'll do. Everybody be walking around with berets on.
Raspberry berry. Yeah, Sophia. Yes, you're right. Yep.
But that's the problem. It's all a numbers game. It's just the numbers. They have to stop. Like when I first came on the job, they didn't push activity as much. But when I first came on the job, there was a lot more crime in New York City. You know what I mean? But that's definitely the problem. That was Giuliani and Bloomberg's doing, and Bloomberg came in with a corporate mentality. So he was the one that totally changed the system of the police department, and also was responsible for that stop, question, and frisk stuff that the police department was doing. And by the way, we got our former police commissioner, Ray Kelly, who in my opinion was the worst police commissioner in the history of the police department. He is endorsing the Manhattan DA, a lady named, I think her name is Elizabeth.
Oh, I know. So if I wasn't on my phone with this, I would pull it up.
Maybe Chairman can help me out. Yeah. She's a lady
you
running
got
from
Kelly as the worst. Where you got Kerrick at?
Kerrick. Oh, Kerrick. Believe it or not, Kerrick. I know you're looking at Kerrick from a criminal aspect, which he is a criminal. But if we're going to talk about him as a police commissioner, but if we're talking about him as a police commissioner, then I'm going to say he's not as bad, wasn't as bad as Ray Kelly. I think Ray Kelly, you know, in my opinion, I think he did some racist things. You know what I'm saying?
No question.
So, yeah. And his son was wild. His son was wild. Remember, his son got kicked out of New York from the news because he was wild in the bedroom scene.
Yeah. But I was about to say, the lady, I can't think of her last name. Well, she's running for Manhattan DA, and she's being endorsed by Ray Kelly and all of the police unions. So what is that?
That go to tell you right there.
Correct. What does that tell you?
You talking about bitch ass Patrick Lynch and all them motherfuckers, man?
Yes. How do you allow the law enforcement unions to endorse you as a DA? So that tells me right there that you're going to favor the cops in any situation. So that means a lot more people are going to go to jail. You're not going to probably prosecute a cop if he has to be prosecuted. I think
Jamie just gave us a name right there, Liza Orleans.
Yeah. So she's running for Manhattan DA. Like I said, she's endorsed by Ray Kelly, who basically is a disgraced police commissioner, in my opinion. So I don't know. He don't hold no weight in my eyes.